Stone chunks lie scattered near an arched hammer and a broad chisel blade. Slender rods of coloured marble have square cross-sections. Fingers hold a smooth rod and an uneven chunk.
That passage, that space, that shadow is the most important part of how you make your art sing.
A blonde woman lets herself and two dogs into a studio. Louise Marson, visual artist.
It is like a ritual. I come in to work, I come into my studio here at Collingwood Yards. I'm here 8-10 hours a day. I'm an emerging artist. That's quite new to me. And I come into this special place. There's something about putting on that apron and sitting. Penny.
A miniature schnauzer sits on her lap.
Breathing.
Louise shapes chunks of coloured stone, then arranges them in designs.
I want to be taken seriously for my art. And I haven't been formally trained, and art for me, as bringing up was a farming girl, was considered a waste of time and not much value. I yearned, and I've only been doing this for about 4 years, for what is the professional practice, what is the history, and this cutting with a hammer and a hardie.
The head of a mosaic hammer is a semicircle with a flat base that creates two sharp edges where it meets the curved top. The hardie is a thick chisel blade embedded upright into a sturdy wood base. Louise holds stone against the hardie's edge, then hits it with the hammer, splitting it into chunks.
But I also wanted to know, well, what is it about that placement of the stone? What is it about this cutting? What is it about the mosaic practice? And for me, what's really important is this ritual of the art of the making and the art of seeing the material as it is. When I choose a material, and I just don't choose a material randomly, I go to my stonemason.
Rods are arranged by colour.
And I look for a piece of stone. I choose it, and then he cuts that for me. And then I come to the studio and I see what this piece of travertine's done. I look on the back, it looks like all one colour. But look at that.
The limestone is mottled with brown. Louise works with penny draped over her hammer arm. Drawings are displayed on easels.
The studio has been a place of enormous focus for me and discipline. I've created 3 series of work, and I'm very proud about my work, for my first solo exhibition at the Dax Centre.
In Studio Dax, mosaics of various colours, textures and shapes are displayed on walls. Tiny coloured chunks and tiles form 3D images, including an open hand, dark grooves weaving through a landscape of pale blocks, and a bulging white square with a brown moat. A purple flower-like shape has an irregular green moat. Its dark stem and roots meander through a pale expanse. Concentric lines of stone ripple out from a shiny white and brown hollow. A path leads to a dark tunnel in a red brick wall that has green roots sprouting from its base.
Dax Centre has been incredibly supportive and has enabled me to have a voice through my mental health journey and where I am today as a professional artist.
Caroline Bowditch, CEO, Arts Access Victoria.
The coming into existence of Studio Dax has been really significant for lots of the artists that we have the pleasure of working with, including Louise. Seeing Louise's work in this space not only brings joy but also feels really significant for the Dax Centre, for Arts Access and also for Louise.
Louise holds penny.
Creating art is central to the person I am today. Creating art is about a medicine to keep you well, to keep you in a good space.
Clay blocks form a labyrinth amid white marble. Text Dr. Helen Bodycomb, art mentor.
It's a real privilege to be an art mentor. On one level, it's an affirmation that what I have to give is worthy, but it's also an opportunity to teach someone at the level, according to the level that they're at, and to coach and coax them on a journey.
Undulating sculptures are caked with tiles.
When Helen Bodycomb came on board, I was only tinkering around with the first series, and I'd only probably done about 3 pieces called The Dialogue of the OK. And through my mentor, she enabled me to have a greater understanding of mosaic practice and technique.
A face is outlined in colour. Dark irregular archways are speckled with yellow.
I think for an artist living with a disability, a mentor can provide them with something like a torch. It's like following someone who knows the path and has a torch, and so they're combining illumination with a bit of with vision of where you're going.
A series of elaborate squares.
She could see that I needed to express this first series, and it was quite difficult to move beyond that.
Green lines weave from a distorted pink face.
I would just love to say on behalf of myself and Arts Access Victoria how proud we are of Louise and how incredible this exhibition is and how joyous it is to see the incredible evidence of a mentoring relationship and the difference that it can make. I hugely appreciate Louise's generosity in sharing her insights, her artistry, her creativity.
It's also a journey about being alone and self-discovery. And so the work from the Dialogue of the OK is an unwell model, and then you actually walk through the passages, the passages of time, the passages of the material, to allow you to rethink and to actually breathe.
Fade to black. Credits. This project is supported by the Victorian Government through Creative Victoria and City of Melbourne arts grants. Thanks to Collingwood Yards, the Dax Centre and Arts Access Victoria. LouiseMarson.com. Video production by Martin Wurt, Working Photos. Music by PJ Noack. Copyright 2021.